What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the Driving YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to give my top 11 ideas for a legendary Forza Horizon 5. Horizon 5 is most likely over 2 years away from hitting the shelves, so I feel like Playground Games still has plenty of time to make the improvements and suggestions that I'm about to make. This is my Forza Horizon 5 wish list. Location. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care where the next Horizon game will be located. To me, the location is not what makes a good Horizon game. What makes a good Horizon game is the map features. A good Horizon game must have a few good essentials. A map must include at the very least a straight highway for top speed testing and a substantial airport that can be used to drag race. My first Horizon game was Horizon 3, located in Australia. I spent all my time going up and down the highway at excess of 270 miles per hour, or I was able to meet up with pretty much everybody else playing on the server at the airstrip, where we were able to drag race muscle cars, supercars, and hypercars. Besides the straight highway and long airstrip, there's also one major thing from Horizon 4 that every Horizon map going forward should definitely have, and that is a detailed city. Surface Paradise in Horizon 3 was an awful city. One road took you into the heart of the city, and that same road took you back out. There was no elevation, and there was no twisting tight roads in the city, which made Surface Paradise feel kinda bland. I think a good Horizon game must have a city like Horizon 4's Edinburgh. Now, Edinburgh has insane elevation, twisty roads, and some cool roundabouts to drift around. If a Horizon map doesn't have a detailed main city, a straight highway, and a large airport, the map will be terrible. It won't matter if the map is in somebody's dream location. If it is missing some of the essential features, the map will get boring and old real quick. So, to Playground Games, take Horizon's 4 city design, and then take the highway and airports from Horizon 3, 2, and 1 to make an absolutely insane map. Alright, now we gotta talk about the festivals. I don't really like the festival in Horizon 4. There's something about it that keeps me from hardly ever going over and driving around the festival. There really is no reason for the Horizon Festival site once you start buying houses. All the things that you can do at the festival site, you can do them from your house. Buy a car, house, paint your car, house, tune your car. You'll be at your house. There truly is no reason for the festival anymore. I have an idea for what the festival could turn into. To get players going back to the festival, there has to be at least some sort of feature about the festival that'll want players to go there. If you remember back to the days of Horizon 2 and 3, there were things called bucket list events. A bucket list event basically allowed a player to drive an expensive vehicle that would cost millions in in-game currency for free. The idea of the bucket list was to help a player drive flat out and complete either a speed or time objective so that they could have a feel for the car that they would want to buy in the future. In an ideal Horizon game, I believe that bucket list should come back. At the festival site, my idea is that there would be a building that looks somewhat like a cool car dealership. Here, a player could enter and browse through a selection of the car that they want to drive. The player could then pick a car, and a bucket list event would appear for that chosen car. I love the bucket list events in Horizon 3, and I played them through many times. I believe that in an ideal Horizon game that the bucket list events would all be located in one spot, and they would be unlocked by level. Besides the bucket list idea, I also believe that there should be a drift track and or parking lot in the festival. I think that no matter how good a Horizon game could be, drifters would still want a drift track. For instance, in Horizon 3, I did a ton of drifting through the Surface Paradise parking lot. Myself, along with some random players on the internet, created figure-8 loops through the parking lot, and it was awesome. No matter how good the roads are in a Horizon game, a parking lot of some sort situated in the festival would be insane, and it would keep players hanging out there because they could drift. And what would also be cool is, if near the drift track, there was some sort of area for people to have a little mock car meet. The story. There has never really been a true story in Horizon. First, we had music festivals, And now in Horizon 4, we've started car businesses, basically every business under the sun. What's the fun in that? Come on, Playground. I didn't enjoy the Horizon 4 stories. I just did them to get the car reward that came with completing them. I also didn't like the previous Horizon game stories. Playing the older Horizon games, it's so easy with all of the racing that you're actually doing to realize you're taking part in a music festival. So for the ideal Horizon story, I would keep the music festival idea just for nostalgia reasons. I think it's a cool way to honor Forza Horizon 1 and 2 and 3 and somewhat 4 a little bit, I guess. So how would I turn the music festival into some sort of story? So my idea for this is, your character, whether a male or a female, is some sort of up-and-coming artist who is also a car enthusiast. Your character would participate in Horizon racing events in order to gain reputation and fame for themselves, and this racing would help promote their music. It's simple. Often playing through Horizon games, it's weird to think that a music festival is what you're basically playing in. I also wish there would be more cutscenes. At the beginning of both Horizon 3 and 4, there are awesome cutscenes that hype you up for the game. I feel like for the game to keep delivering on the hype factor, there should be more cutscenes. Cutscenes could include your character getting ready for big consort, or meeting other Horizon main characters that shape the Horizon car scene. And please, no car businesses. Maybe player stories like Horizon 4's Top Gear or the thing with the vlogger, but I just feel like player businesses is something that should not come back in Horizon 5. Alright, now progression. This is a major factor. Alright, a little quick disclaimer here. I have watched gameplay of Horizon 2 and 1, and I've only played Horizon 3 and I've only played Horizon 4. So in these Horizon games, it seems that it only takes 30 minutes of casual gameplay, from my personal experience anyway, before I was able to find myself in the auto show purchasing a Ferrari or a supercar. I think that certain cars should be only available after a player reaches a certain level. Because of this, it would also encourage players to grind and earn both XP and credits. I think that in an enjoyable game, there has to be some sort of grinding, so that once a car is unlocked and the player is able to purchase it, the player receives instant satisfaction and wants to grind and play more so that they can unlock some other cool cars. If I could develop Horizon 5, here's how I would make progression work. So, car level D would be available at the game start. The player would be able to instantly upgrade any D-class car to its maximum class with credits that they have earned. However, every 20 levels, the next tier of cars becomes available, all the way up to S2. What would be cool is that a different color bracelet would be added to a player's wrist for each vehicle class that was unlocked. I would also implement a way to combat instantly going into the festival and upgrading a D-class car by tossing a massive V12 into it. This would somewhat connect to the story. So the more racing a player would do, would mean that they'd get more exposure for their character's music brand, which I believe should equal more money. So as you level up and do more races, a multiplier will be added to your total credits at the end of each race, because with each race that your character gains more reputation and influence, the more famous they'll become. So, as a player influence rises, their cash payout after a race also increases. Emotes and clothing. Clothing should not be in the wheel spins. 100% of Horizon players would rather have a car or cash over clothing. Clothing, like vehicles, should be unlocked with progression. However, unlike vehicles, you shouldn't have to purchase clothing. Clothing should be unlocked by a certain level, and as a player, you should be able to go to the festival or a house and put on said clothing for free. Regarding emotes, there should honestly get unlocked from the get-go. At level 1, you should have instant access to every emote, mainly because I don't care for emotes, but some people do. I think that anyone would play Forza Horizon just to get the cars and just to get the money. No one would play just so that they could unlock a new emote. The festival playlist. I enjoy the festival playlist. I think that the way it operates in Horizon 4 is honestly quite fantastic. I like how new cars get added every week, and I also enjoy grinding out challenges so that I can get the cars that I want. So, Playground, Don't screw up the Horizon Festival playlists, please. Cars and their sounds. I like that cars in Horizon 4 were added every week in the Ultimate Edition bundle. I like how the festival playlist made it so that every week after the Ultimate Edition cars ended, all players could have access to a car that came out once a week if they completed a set number of challenges. I also enjoyed how difficult the bargain finds can be. Alright, now with that out of the way, or with the good out of the way, let's get into what I would change. There's a very common and valid argument that cars in Forza sound the same as other cars in Forza. For this reason, I would want exhaust tuning. This way a player can mess with the exhaust sound until it reaches their desired pitch. The car sound in general has to be fixed in Horizon games. The cars in previous games had way better sounds. And in Horizon 4, the cars don't sound realistic, and they sound mundane. The only two cars that I have is sound that I actually enjoy are the Ferrari 488 Pista and the Toyota Supra Mark IV. The sounds of these vehicles are nothing like their real-life counterparts. However, the reason that I enjoy these cars and their sound is because their sounds are different. Their sounds don't appear to be copied and pasted from other Horizon vehicles. Alright, here's another major one that Horizon I think has been struggling from the get-go with, and that is vehicle customization. Forza should take some notes from Need for Speed on this one. Ideally, Forza Horizon customization would include air suspension, underglow, wide-body kits for every car, and the ability to change front and rear bumpers to a player's liking. Better customization is what would bring Forza Horizon to the next level. Customization would, in my opinion, also keep players playing for longer, and it would keep players playing longer for one simple reason. If I can have the ability for my vehicles to look how they would look in my dream life, I would spend so much time just driving around and cruising to show off my awesome creation to other online players. After all, Forza Horizon is supposed to be a representation of my dream life. I'd want to customize my cars the way I would see them and have them in my dream life with an unlimited budget. So, wheel spins. Please, 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 no clothing and wheel spins. I would honestly prefer if the next Horizon game got rid of super wheel spins if that meant I wouldn't be able to win clothing. Let's take a quick step back here. Horizon 3 did wheel spins so well. I liked that I would either win cash or cars in the wheel spin. I didn't play Forza for the clothing, and honestly, I don't think I ever will. I play for the cars, and I play for money that I can use to create my dream car and upgrade it the way I want. So for progression reasons, I believe that certain wheel spin rewards wouldn't be available until a certain game level. This would help with progression, because a player wouldn't get a $400,000 or credit wheel spin reward within the first 20 minutes of playing the game. Houses. I think it was so cool that houses were added into Horizon 4. I would like to see houses present in future Horizon games as well. In my dream Horizon, which hopefully is Horizon 5, the player would be able to enter the house and instantly be teleported into the garage where a player can walk around freely. The garage should also be able to be customized. The color of the garage could be changed, and car photos taken in photo mode could be placed in frames on the walls of the garage. It would be so cool if the current car that a player had on them, or they had selected prior to entering the garage, would be sitting right in the middle of the garage on an epic podium. So in this garage, I think it would be so cool to walk up to the vehicle, customize it, tune it, and even rev it. Also, Forza Vista, if you're not familiar with it, it's the mode where you can open the doors and hood of a vehicle and just see inside it and all sorts of cool things. It would be so cool to use Forza Vista in a custom garage when your photos and all your other things are in the background looking absolutely amazing. Alright, launch control. Launch control exists in Forza Horizon 4. In fact, I made a video on it, and I also used launch control in Horizon 3. Though we have launch control in Horizon games, it isn't very usable. When you use launch control in high horsepower cars, your wheels will spin every time you use launch control. You also can't use launch control at the beginning of a race event because it's impossible to have control of your car until the word go appears at the top of your screen. I would want to see launch control being used in Horizon races, and here is how I would make it better. First, I have an idea to fix the wheel spin in high horsepower cars so that the launch control is actually useful. My solution would be something like boost by gear. The car could only use so much horsepower in first gear. The player would be able to customize the horsepower output in numbers that are available in first gear from the tuning menu. This boost by gear tuning for first gear would only be activated if the player held the throttle, the emergency brake, and the clutch at the same time, like you would in initiating launch control in the current Horizon game. This way, the manual with clutch players would have an advantage over the players who choose automatic. To show that launch control has been activated, a green emblem will appear at the top of the speedometer. With boost by gear only being activated when you press certain buttons, a player could still have the ability to do burnouts whenever they want. So in order for launch control to be used in races, I believe before a race, there should be a 3-second period when all of the cars are locked on some sort of trans brake, giving the player time to get up on the launch control. This trans brake, working with launch control, would greatly improve race starts and make the game a lot more interesting and more advantageous to manual with clutch players. And I have an extra point here, that's the cops. This is Horizon. Horizon is about living your dream life. Running from cops isn't my idea of a dream life, so Playground Studios, Playground Games, whatever you like to be called. No cops, please. This is Horizon, not Need for Speed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. And make sure you leave a comment, make sure you like the video, and make sure you subscribe as well.